Huh? What is it now? Wasn't the game supposed to have started already?
Yeah, well, yes. But the junk press broke down, and we thought we'd use the time for a little tutorial.
Who thought that? I don't need no stinking tutorials.
So how are you going to fix the junk press?
Just watch me and learn.
Maybe you want to listen to what I have to say first?
But you don't have anything to say.
Oh, come on. It won't be long. Just point the cursor at me and left-click.
We'll see about that.
I'm here.
Yeah, I know that.
Didn't you want to talk to me? Just point at me and left-click.
Will you stop yakking then?
Actually, I wanted to give you the next hint.
Really? How extraordinarily exciting.
Up here, Rufus. Up here.
Yes, I know. This is Wenzel, my sidekick, the eternal number 2.
You were supposed to talk to me, not look at me. If you keep that up, you'll ruin the whole tutorial.
Computer, talk to Wenzel.
You don't have to say that explicitly.
Who's talking to you?
Why, you are. You clicked on me.
Smarty pants. Just tell me what's wrong with the junk press. And stop wiggling your feet.
It's pressing only very gently now and doesn't really squish sufficiently.
Hey, every idiot can see that.
Well, why don't you present the tutorial then?
Okay, piece of cake. But first, I'll explain, how to talk to somebody.
You click on a character with the mouth icon.
No, you're completely wrong. I'm talking to you using the speech bubble icon. Everyone knows there's no mouth icon in this game, but there's a speech bubble icon to talk instead. Oh, and my favorite icon, the Rufus head icon for putting on, eating, and drinking things. If you can't even understand that, how am I ever going to be able to teach you how to look at an object?
I know that.
I see. And how?
I point my cursor at it and right-click when I see the eye icon.
Well, the theory is easy, but how about the actual practice?
Hey, this is your tutorial.
You're a cop-out, but be that as it may, I'll demonstrate. Do you see that little thingy on the floor over there? I will now use the tongue icon.
The eye icon.
Yeah, I will now click on it, thusly having a look at it. So you better watch closely.
I thought you wanted to have a look at that thing on the floor.
I can see it. It's lying there.
I mean, look more closely. You just point at it and right-click when the eye icon appears.
What's that?
It's a cathode plunger.
Thanks for the input, Wenzel, but I recognize a hydro clamp duplexer when I see one. Too bad I can only look at it. A duplexer like that could be useful.
You can pick it up. You just have to point your cursor at it so the hand icon appears. If you left-click now, you'll pick it up.
There has to be an easier way.
If you say so.
A hydro clamp duplexer that I can't pick up.
Ugh, nice of you to listen to me. You can pick it up. You just have to point your cursor at it so the hand icon appears. If you left-click now, you'll pick it up.
Okay, I've picked up the duplexer, but what am I supposed to do with it now?
You put it into your inventory. That's where all the items go. You've picked up that object. Now you can open your inventory by using your mouse wheel.
Hey, there it is!
Correct! This is your inventory.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's where you can see what you're carrying around. You still know how to do that, don't you? Well, have you started combining items yet?
I'm working on it.
Click on one of the 2 items with the hand icon to pick it up with your cursor. Then click on the other item to combine both.
I was just about to do that.
Well, have you started combining?
I'm working on...
Click on one, then...
I was just... Look, Wenzel, I'm almost done.
Impressive. And I mean that.
So, this is the thing I'm supposed to fix?
You might as well give up now. It'll never work.
Look, I know, this situation might look hopeless for a layman, but as you know, hopeless is my middle name. I'll sail this ship onto the sandbank eventually.
All right.
Huh, It fits.
Now you have to...
Hey, you don't have to spoon feed me. I'll manage the rest.
If you say so. Rufus, there's one more thing.
I told you I'd manage without your help. Now, all I have to do is press this button here, and right away...
Oh, how I love tutorials!
It's kind of pathetic, you get all erratic about dirty dishes congesting the sink. I'm tired of your bothers, remember our fathers. They dwelled in a world filled with rubbish and stink. But when all hope was lost, someone raised from the dust. He was handsome and cunning, his haircut had style. Courage was shining in his eyes as he said, screw you guys, mind your own business, I'm off now, goodbye.
Huzzah, he's off now, goodbye.
Junk. Junk. And more junk. A life of order and happiness. Oh, my bad. That was junk too. Well, that does it. I need to leave this dump. Fortunately, this time my plan is foolproof. This time everything will work out. Where did I put my list? Heck, I really have to get away from this junkyard.
Okay, and here we are in the first room, right in the beginning of the game. Here we will, of course, meet Rufus. Well, then again, I'd like you to play that part yourself and won't spoil too much. The beginning of Deponia is rather classic. That means a lot of the information about Rufus comes from trying things yourself through interaction, and there's a lot of that. Not an easy feat, I might add. By now, in the late installments, the introduction is much smoother for your convenience, but this one's more like Edna and Harvey, where you are supposed to puzzle and guess your way through the intro. And since you already clicked the developer's commentary, I'm glad to tell you that we actually convinced Rufus to come over to our studio. Hello, Rufus!
Hey, Pokey, great to be here.
Yeah, this screen must really be a trip down nostalgia lane for you. But as I said, let the players figure out where they ended up and what to do, so I'll ask you something completely different. You were voiced by Carrie Shale for this game. Do you think that he's a good choice for this very, very, very important task?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you'd ask. Well, first things first, I've known Carrie for quite some time. We're kind of friends. And I think he's okay with me saying this. In fact, personally, I'm very fond of him. We've been through a lot. We got to know each other when I returned from Algeria. I had some bad luck there. I don't want to go into it. And then we both rode that train in Switzerland. And again, don't want to go into that. But is he the right choice for the role? Yeah, he's great. I don't want to comment any further.
With a great role comes great responsibility, right? And great is just the right word for the challenge to interpret your work of a lifetime as a voice actor, isn't it?
Well, Chaplin always dreamed about making a Napoleon film. Eventually he didn't, but as you can't actually represent Napoleon, only replace him. And this situation is quite similar. I can sleep when I'm dead, or if I survive and get confined to bed with broken legs. Blech. Nah, like always, there's only junk on TV. What's this? A sock? That explains why I've had such cheesy dreams. How did this end up here? Ah, there's my list. Let's see. Seems like I've packed almost everything I need. All I need now are some provisions. A toothbrush, a pair of socks, and a bolt cutter. A bolt cutter? What the... Well, guess I must have had a reason to put it on the list. Huh. My old escape plans. Some of them weren't half bad. This could be useful. The oil is rancid. I could use it for hair wax. The best thing about it is the can. Oh, my father left me. Besides alone was this stupid wooden trunk. Then he left Deponia without me. My father left me a trunk before he left me. I don't want to open it. I don't want to be disappointed yet again. Ah, the first aid kit. It saved my life several times, but since the time I tried to build a shrapnel-propelled jet, there's no Band-Aid left. The only thing in there now is Tony's tranquilizer. Locked. Tony must have the key. This is Tony's room, the lion's den, or more aptly, the dragon's lair. What? Whoa, what's that? A guillotine so I won't enter her room? Whoa, that girl has issues. I honestly wonder why we were ever together at all. Another note from Tony. What's she complaining about now? Stay out of my room. You have no business in there anymore. Who does Tony think she is? I've got better things to do than rummage through her drawers. Will you please clean the bathroom for once? Yeah, right, in her dreams. This could be useful. Tony says it's my turn to clean the bathroom. Now that's just unfair. It's never her turn. I've been waiting for weeks, and it's never her turn. Ugh, what gnat's piss. It's seen better days for sure. Whoa! What the toothbrush bailed out on me. Guess I should have kept it in a more germ-free environment. I usually leave that stuff for Tony. I've only used it once. But all my clothes got discolored, and the shed burned down. A bolt cutter is a pretty useless gadget if you think about it. The mouse skedaddled long ago, which doesn't mean that its plan was better than mine. Ouch! Do the dishes already. They won't do themselves. Oh, yeah? Well, I'll take that chance. I don't see why I, of all people, should do the dishes. I mean, Tony has much more experience with it. I don't see why I, of all people... I mean, Tony... You scoffed all the food yet again, and I keep finding your crap in the fridge. What the hell's wrong with you? Huh? I don't understand the question. I wonder if I can find some provisions for my journey here. How did this end up here? These coats are incredible. Unbelievable how much stuff you can cram into the pockets. I'll have a quick look, see if I can find something useful in the pockets. Hey, there really was something in there. A sock. Cool. You're not supposed to eat on the sofa. I keep finding leftovers in it. Huh? Well, isn't that a good thing? the good old sofa. Too bad I can't fit it into my escape pod. I've had the most amazing ideas sitting here. Plus, you can always find leftovers in it. Seems there are still some wasabi peas in there. But without something to put them into, I'm not collecting them. Let's get rid of this thing. Seems there are still some wasabi peas in there. I guess these will make good provisions for the journey. Now the little bugger's in for a surprise. Come on, brushy, brushy, brushy. Come to Papa. Ha! Gotcha! Ha! Gotcha! I'll make you suffer the next time I brush my teeth. In you go. That'll give me satisfaction. And Tony keeps complaining that I don't do enough housework. I may not be an expert, but I'm sure I need a hot wash. Whoa, look at that! The sock changed color. Who would have thought it? But where's the other one? Clear case of subtractive color mixing. Bolt cutter, for whatever reason. Check. Provisions. Check. Socks. Check. Toothbrush. Check. Ha! Seems like I've packed everything. Oh, I can't close it anymore. Seems like I've got to unpack something, but what? I'll never be able to close the suitcase with a monster like that in there. I mean, I won't need a bolt cutter where I'm going. I wonder why it was on the list in the first place. Now it sits. Packed and ready to go. I think I just strained something.
Hey, Rufus, you should save your energy for the unavoidable drop into the abyss.
Yeah, thanks, Wenzel. You can save your sarcasm for someone less well-prepared than me. This time, I took everything into account. It'll be a stroll in the park.
Ah, That's what you said last time. It took us days to remove the cactus spikes from your butt, remember?
That's all toxic runoff under the bridge. This time, everything will work out. And when finally an Elysian orbit pixie massages my back, I'll ask her to pause for a minute so I can laugh about you.
Whatever. But say, can I have your stuff when you're gone?
Yeah, sure, help yourself.
As if anything on this dump is valuable.
It's time for me to leave all this behind.
Great. I hope you remembered to calibrate the harpoon.
I'll do that later, after I've stored everything in the pod.
Well, then hurry up. Well, you know that the Organon are always on time.
And a sensor. My masterpiece. I've been working on this for so long. It must have been since Monday. My trusty wrench. I wonder why this wasn't on the list. Well, never mind. I might be able to do without this. That's where the seat was attached. I'll need some kind of replacement. I gotta make room for my luggage somehow. There. And now? Now, all I have to do is load the suitcase into the pod, and off we go. There. Now where shall I put it? There we go. Hey, Wenzel.
What's up?
Any signs of the Organon yet?
No, but they'll be here. The Organon are always on time. It's no accident that we set the town hall clock by them.
What else do you know about the Organon?
Just as little as you.
So that's really nothing.
Exactly. Their motives are as unclear as our water. Good thing they leave us alone.
Do you also think there are boundless riches in Elysium?
Don't know. I'm happy with what I got.
Yeah, but I will have so much more. Aw, poor Wenzel. And do you also think that no one has to work in Elysium?
Just a moment. You're not even working now.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm meant to be up there. And don't you think the Elysian women are the most beautiful of all?
I've never really understood why Tony and you aren't together anymore.
Yeah, well, that's why you'll be rotting in this forsaken hole forever. I deserve better than having to listen to lectures about my laziness and my unreliability all the time. About the plan.
Are there any problems?
Problems? No. The plan is perfect. But where shall I put the battery?
Couldn't you have thought of building a compartment or something before?
I had other things on my mind, okay?
You slept through the whole afternoon while I assembled the telescope.
Well, I have to feel rested when I get to Elysium.
Of course you have. Anything else?
Now, what happens when I've got the pod ready?
We wait for the Organon cruiser. As soon as it's here, you light the fuse and jump into the cockpit. You have calibrated the harpoon, right?
Not yet, but there'll be plenty of time for that.
If you say so.
All right. Pack, calibrate, light fuse, and I'll launch myself into the upper spheres.
Well, at least there's a chance that the magnet will hit the cruiser, but...
No buts. This time, everything will work. I'll show you. I'll show everybody.
It will be a spectacle, no doubt. Any other problems?
Now, Now, what happens when I've got the pod ready?
We wait for the Organon cruiser. As soon as it's here, you light the fuse and jump into the cockpit. You have calibrated the harpoon, right?
Not yet, but there'll be plenty of time for that.
If you say so.
All right. Pack, calibrate, light fuse, and... I'll launch myself into the upper spheres!
Well, at least there's a chance that the magnet will hit the cruiser. But...
No buts. This time, everything will work. I'll show you. I'll show everybody.
it will be a spectacle. No doubt. Any other problems?
This time, it'll work out. I just know it.
Sure, Rufus. Of course.
No problems. Why?
Of course not. Of course. How could I ever think such a thing?
See you later, Wenzel. You've always been a loyal companion, my friend, my helper, my sidekick.
I was your sidekick? I always thought you were my sidekick.
What? I guess you're probably sad that you can't come along, but let's not get sentimental.
No fear of that. At least you promised me all your stuff.
A small consolation for such an enormous loss. I'll go back to work then.
You better do that. You haven't got much time left.
So, after we puzzled through the first hurdles of packing the suitcase, we can now play Rufus' first escape attempt towards Elysium, leaving behind this heap forever. Yeah, well, the weather forecast spent us over in that one. We were told there would be rain in this scene, and as a matter of fact, I always planned this scene to take place in the rain. I actually also found an old character design of Tony standing in a puddle on the screen, wearing a heavy raincoat. The smoke she always has in the corner of her mouth is just as soaked as she is, all dripping and bent. And by the way, Tony's character is roughly inspired by Doris Day. The more you know.
Tony always had weird tastes concerning flowers. Ouch! Hot! A saddle-shaped box. A classic. No problem. Oh, crap! It's screwed tight. Hello, Hannock.
Hey, well,
Rufus.
I'm really terrible with names.
Is the tunnel closed again?
Yes, we had another collapse in Sector 7.
Another junk slide? All this trash is really driving me nuts. I'm glad I'll be gone for good soon.
Are you?
You bet.
Well, I only know you won't be leaving through this tunnel.
Did you see Tony anywhere?
Tony?
Big, angry, breathes fire. My former girlfriend.
Tony! Well, I guess she's down in her store, working, like everybody else, except you.
I'll finally leave this junk heap of a planet.
Oh yeah, another one of your brilliant plans?
This time, it's absolutely foolproof.
Yeah, that's right. You being a fool and all. But I reckon you running around here has got nothing to do with any other problems.
No, it hasn't.
Well, good for you.
Okay, the plan itself is foolproof, but...
Here we go.
I just need to prepare the capsule for the launch, adjust the harpoon, light the fuse, and then it's showtime!
Uh-huh. Then what?
The escape pod is connected to that very powerful electromagnet via a long chain. Once the magnet is attached to the Organon cruiser, I can reel in the chain with a pedal-operated winch system and pull myself and the pod up.
I see. And then?
Then, the cruiser will bring me directly to Elysium.
Well, I really don't see how this plan of yours could go wrong.
I removed the seat, but where do I put the battery now? And where do I sit?
Well, seems like you need a kind of seat with a battery compartment.
A seat with a battery compartment? I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I have. I had one just like that. It was pretty comfortable. Until I accidentally found the switch.
Don't worry, I'll make it.
Sure.
I'll write you a postcard from Elysium.
You go ahead and do that.
And here we are in the front of Tony's home. I can comment a bit on the visuals. This is in fact the first screen created for Deponia at all. I even made the first version myself, and thus the very first asset for the game. Yeah, my first version of the screen, Etna style though. Back then, to the left was a pretty huge tire heap under the plateau with the tunnel leading to the town center. No, wait, actually the heap was on the right, and left was a pile of old ET cartridges. At the time, I read somewhere of the story that the Atari developers who created the ET console game dumped all the remaining copies in the desert somewhere, as the game did exceptionally poor. This story was so hilarious that I had to give it a friendly nod in the screen while I was still thinking maybe I will do the screens myself again. That never happened, and I'm actually quite happy about this. Since we recruited Michael Benrath. No. I already worked with him together on a licensed game called 1.5 Nights, basically the second Daedalic game. But, or was it the third after Whispered World? Before Whispered World? Yeah, before Whispered World, yeah, right. There he also did the background, and I was convinced that he's exactly the right person for drawing the cartoony backgrounds for a world like Deponia. And indeed, we were lucky to have him on board, and that he brought along enough time and motivation to walk with us for several years. In fact, Micha was the first and only one on the team sitting in one room with me for roughly 1 year, and I fleshed out the complete concept for Deponia. So it was supposed to be one single game, the complete journey, so to speak, until we realized that the whole thing was way too huge for only one game, and we eventually had to split it into 3 parts. Another remarkable thing about this screen is that I noticed how alarmingly committed our animators are. We were on a rather strict timetable in regards of animation, despite our long to-do list to breathe life into Deponia. And it was here that an animator worked on a mailbox, and she was just supposed to give it a quick animation. It even was listed as a nice to have, as it was just a standard youth wrench with mailbox situation. We usually solve things like that with standard animations, at least in older titles. But for some reasons it ended up on her list, so she made this very elaborate animation where Rufus sent that mailbox flying and caught it in his coat. All I thought was, wow, I want stuff like this for the whole game. And that's where the true insanity of Deponia started. Awesome. From a scripter's point of view, this room is really interesting as well as the perspective of this bridge. It's quite a challenge for a 2D adventure engine. You see, Rufus moves forward while walking down the bridge and still moves forward when he walks up that bridge again. That means moving the character along the Y-axis has him walk to the front until he hits the middle, and then he moves to the back or the north of the screen. And that's something Visionaire, our engine, is not designed to do. And that made this a very, very difficult screen scripting wise. We tried a lot, actually did a redraw of the screen to polish it as much as possible. Very interesting screen, right in the beginning. What an introduction.
Ha! There you go. Ha! There you go. Ha! There you go. There. The capsule is ready. Now, all I have to do is calibrate the harpoon. Oh yeah, tight fit. There. Too bad the two directions of the control stick are blocked, but who needs those anyway? The main thing is that the crosshairs are right on the tracks. And then I'm gone. Ha! This'll be a walk in the park. I did it! Now, I'll just light the fuse and boom! Well, that should be it. Stand by, Wenzel. Ah!
Hello, Rufus.
Tony, why are you sneaking around like that?
This is still my house, remember? Well, it's not as obvious now since someone stole my mailbox. Oh, that reminds me. I'm supposed to give you this letter.
A letter?
Rufus, it's almost time.
Yes, I know. Sorry, Tony, but it's over. Once the fuse is lit, I'll be gone for good.
If only that was true.
I bet now you're sorry about some of the things you said.
That's right. Starting with, you can stay with me.
This is the final goodbye.
It's too early to jump for joy, I fear.
There's nothing you could say to prevent me from going.
What a stroke of luck. That means I can't say anything wrong.
No, it's too late. You can beg all you want, but I won't take you along with me.
Can I have that in writing?
Why are you here? Are you still hoping for a miracle?
It would be a miracle if you finally disappeared for real. But in case it doesn't work out again, I'll at least have the satisfaction of seeing you injure yourself.
I'm leaving. For good.
I gave up hope of that a long time ago.
Now is when it counts. Hullabaloo. Ah, well, maybe I should read the letter. Dear Mr. We're happy to inform you, blah, blah, blah. Get to the point, will ya? Unfortunately, the delivery of your screws will be delayed for... Please find enclosed a voucher for a pack of rivets. We apologize for any inconvenience this might have caused. Sincerely yours. Just a second. Screws? Whew, what a maneuver. Hey, my suitcase is here too. It must have got entangled in the chain. Just like I planned. The suitcase is stuck in the junk chute. Just like I planned. A well-oiled gearbox. What? Hey! Aggressive little bugger. As long as it's active, I'll never be able to grab it. What? Hey! Aggressive. Not as strong anymore, are we?
This is unbelievable. This is just impossible. I think I'm getting dizzy.
Are you suffering from vertigo, Miss Gold? You should have stayed in your cabin. It was foolish of you to go against my orders.
What's going on here, Bailiff? Did you know about all this? Just a minute. All of you knew about this, right? The whole Organon is involved in this? Did you really think you could just keep it a secret? Wait until Cletus hears about this.
But you won't be telling him anything about it. You will be a good girl and wait here until the Prime Controller arrives.
And then? What then? I am an Elysian, not one of his office clerks. How does he plan to assure my silence?
Just you wait, Ms. Gold. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Holy smoke! A real Orbit Pixie! I bet she'll be pretty thankful once I've rescued her from the clutches of the Dark Exchequer. Let's go! Rufus to the rescue! Take that!
No, don't! Ah!
What's that? Ah!
Oops, guess that was the wrong lever.
You damned fool! How dare you mess with the plans of the Organon? Men, throw him overboard!
You need to catch me first, but I'm much too fast for you, see? First I'm here, and now I'm gone. Here, gone. Ouch! I was so close. But no, the minute I see a beautiful damsel in distress, wham! Well, I guess that's just who I am. I'm simply a die-hard do-gooder. The windshield is encrusted with dirt. Ah, there's a sign behind it. Maybe the name of the driver? Sure, puff. Well, that could spell anything. Ah, Miss Hinkle lost her dachshund. Well, I'm sure it'll turn up. I mean, there wasn't much kerosene in the turbine after all. Lobo's looking for a new hammock. Well, that makes sense. The old one wasn't fireproof. Inspector Gizmo investigates the tunnel collapse in Sector 17. I hope nobody checks out the gym. George is giving away a young calf. Luckily, he's always been a bit short-sighted. Ah, Miss Hinkle lost her dachshund. Well, I'm sure it'll turn up. I mean, there wasn't much kerosene in the turbine after all. You have to be age 6 or older to use this device. Oh, how boring is that? Toro! Hey, I said Toro! If anything, he seems even more bored now.
Yes, this is the screen in front of the city gates. At this point, I really need to apologize to Rufus for giving him such a rough ride through the Deponia trilogy. We thought what could be especially hilarious in our hilarious game, and the answer is things get funny if someone gets hurt, of course. And that's why we implemented the cactus field to your right, a place Rufus already explored very thoroughly. The mechanical bull is another thing, and maybe later on something's happening with that truck's battery, or rather the battery's acid, you can already imagine. So with all sincerity, I'm truly sorry, Rufus. Sorry for the ordeal you went through during the production of Deponia.
Yeah, well, first off, if you want to apologize, do it privately, not now when all the users are listening, okay? Because I'm not going to buy that. But we'll talk about this. So, to be honest, I brought this onto myself, really. I was asked for my opinion, how this setting should, what the setting should look like, and I offered advice accordingly. I said, like the police station of Commissioner Hunter in the Donald Duck pocketbooks, with the two lamps and the stairs. And then someone sent a picture of my father's den, like his man cave, his hobby room. And now it looks like that. Really weird. I was genuinely scared, and the situation was about as pleasant as visiting my father's hobby room.
Yeah, shame we had to cut out that scene in the hobby room. It's kind of part of the backstory, but maybe we can use that in a prequel.
No, you don't get me, do you? No, we did not cut that one out. It's all flashbacks. And even the battery is the same brand. And you really didn't have to stick that accurately to the reference. But it's all, forget it. That ship has sailed, I guess.
Yep, too late.
What's going on here? I haven't seen such a crowd in front of the town hall since the mayor wanted to introduce a tax on the lack of political commitment.
Another big and difficult screen. This is pretty much the crossroads screen, and it also has a scribble done by me. It's in my head very clearly, and I still know how I established the house's visuals. I'm actually a bit proud of the fawn facades and the golden roofs. We, of course, that is Misha and me, put a lot of thought into the composition of the houses. What would they be made of? We actually did concepts of wrecking balls, dredgers, cranes, and garbage trucks, and then disassembled them. And all those engine parts and parts of the hull you never get to see are now jury-rigged roofs. I think that's quite exciting and enjoyable. In this screen, though, I had a little argument with Bade, my lead game designer, as well, who struggled with the abundance of exits and different levels. For example, one towards Tony's shop in the front. Yes, you can see it there on the right corner. Or the water tower to the left and all that. Script-wise, this was a huge effort to get everything in there nice and clean. Then you have those long walking passages and so on. He basically threw his hands over his head, going all like, "Oh, Pokey, you can't freaking do that. The screen is an atrocity." Okay, he doesn't speak like that, but for the sake of story and content, I just wanted this long shot. So, it's a big crossroad screen, kind of an establisher of the town. Like a map. It's something I just desperately wanted. So it's a map, but also an ordinary screen with the flow of the story. And yeah, I got my way. To be honest, I don't know if that was beneficial to the game after all. Actually, I should really listen to what Bade says. I always should listen to what Bade says.
Hey, why aren't you working?
Because some joker removed the magnets from the detonation plan, that's why.
Huh, this is a map of the trash tunnels. I'd better ask Hannock how this all works. Shouldn't he be maintaining the sewer system and removing trash landslides? Lazy bum. Hello, Hannock.
Oh, hey,
Rufus.
exactly.
Why aren't you working?
You mean, why am I doing just the same as you? Because some joker removed the magnets from the detonation plan, that's why.
Hey, I am very busy, actually. I've been running around all day, getting things done, and, picking stuff up, and things like that.
Well, how about you find some new magnets for our detonation plan? Then we can finally continue work.
How exactly does that detonation plan of yours work?
Well, that's pretty exciting, actually.
Yeah, I doubt it.
The chief detonator uses magnets to mark the positions of the next 3 planned detonations. Then he rings a bell, and I give a signal to the miner who will on his part prepare the explosives in the mine shaft. And after that, we blow the thing up.
And then you start with the exciting part?
No. That's it, actually.
Yeah, I knew it. What exactly are you guys doing down there?
What do you think? We are trash hunters. We search for useful trash. Most of the time, trash is just junk, and so pretty useless. For instance, I have a whole collection of car keys for cars that have been scrapped ages ago.
Maybe you have my key, too.
I don't know. What was your name again?
Rufus.
Let me think. Rufus. Nope. I don't think I got your key.
Tony.
Let me think. Tony. Nope. I don't think I got your key.
Wenzel.
Let me think. Wenzel. Nope. I don't think I got your key.
Forget it.
Done. Anything else?
Is that your parrot?
Yes, we use it to detect dangerous fumes in the mine shaft.
Oh, what do you do when that happens?
We get a new parrot.
I see. Talk to you later.
See you,
Rufus.
Exactly.
Nice parrot.
Yes, we use it to detect dangerous fumes in the mine shaft.
Oh, what do you do when that happens?
We get a new parrot.
I see. Hello.
Hello. I'm starving. I've eaten nothing but worms for days now.
Ignore him. My wife sometimes talks to herself when she's down there. He must have picked that up from her.
We can't meet anymore. Although my husband is almost deaf, his bird has quite good ears.
Ah, Rufus. I thought you're on your way to Elysium. Have you come back to pay your tab?
Oh, that. Oh, well, listen, Lonzo. I plan to do that, but constructing an escape vehicle costs a lot, and,
Don't worry, Rufus. No one here expected you to make it.
Great. Thanks, I guess. Gnat's piss. The only thing to drink on the planet. Not true. Luckily, I'm not susceptible to advertising. I could do with a steak now. Yeah, sure. As if it was even possible to hit that board with a dart.
Lonzo's bar. It's quite an interesting room content-wise. As a matter of fact, we rarely had moments, neither in the beginning or Wizard World or the Breakout, where the protagonist could feel at home in his environment. Okay, there was Cedric in the beginning of Whispered World, he had a trailer, but you leave that behind within the first 2 screens, and in addition, it's a traveling circus, so even Cedric's environment isn't a familiar one for him. Edna, on the other hand, has no memory, and so she's in a complete unfamiliar place. And in the beginning, of course, we have Bent alone in his house at the fjord, and he immediately has to leave. But here we can explore Rufus' very own turf along with him. This way we can get character information between the lines through casual dialogue. What I found most interesting was that there are actually people who still tolerate Rufus' company, and Lonzo is among them. Despite the fact that Rufus is of course a load of trouble, and Lonzo is clearly annoyed by them, he still looks at it from a humorous point of view. There's a certain tongue-in-cheek attitude between those two. It's this talk where you get how both of them, and Benford for that matter, roll. And of course the synergy shines also through when talking to Tony. He even kind of reflects to that. It diminishes a bit later in the game, but it's solidly established nonetheless, which is quite remarkable. I mean, characters like Lonzo, Tony, Wenzel, those were characters I wrote really early. Or Gizmo or Mayor Lotek, they react in a way to Rufus as they can anticipate when he actually listens or when he just zones out, so they can throw all kind of stuff at him without any consequences. It's this subliminal love-hate relationship with Rufus. This permanent awful struggle to educate him about something while all you want to do is just to resign. That's something that came quite naturally by writing to these characters. I never consciously realized that it's kind of a logic consequence to the development, having to enjoy Rufus over a long period of time. In the course of the trilogy, Rufus will meet a lot of characters, and funny thing is, most of them will react, or at least will tend more and more to react just like his old peers from Huzzah towards him, like Lonzo or Tony. They grow very similar to his old relationships, and that's quite exciting how all that comes together. It plays out quite well. This screen also deserves a comment for the featured music. And that's because this is the first screen not composed by Finn from Periscope, but it's in fact a snippet of a song I recorded for a friend of mine. By request I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. It's called Dünnes Eis, which is German for thin ice. And the riff nicely fits into the scene. After we finished production, I forgot the damn pub song we wanted. We have a pub in almost every game, and only in the end I remembered it. Same thing with Harvey's New Eyes, and then again with Chaos on Deponia. I just tend to forget the odd pub song. You can't just reuse some other track there. You need something unique to create this pub atmosphere. And that's why I decided to put that part of my track in there. Thank God we did fine with Goodbye Deponia. We composed a song, Tim composed a song for Goodbye Deponia for the pub scene. But to be honest, 1 week after the release, I woke up in a state of mind panic, written by one thought, and really happened. I was like, oh crap, we forgot to include that pub song. It only got used that one time in the sewer scene from Goodbye Deponia, but we definitely included it. Just seems like I have developed kind of a deeply rooted phobia of forgetting a pub song amnesophobia, something like since Harvey's New Eyes and Chaos on Deponia really gave me nightmares. Luckily, there's that 8-bit song, great one too, in Goodbye Deponia, but we'll get there. Until then, stay tuned.
What's that supposed to be? Is Lonzo building a cactus press? Or a faster mixer? Impossible. He would surely have asked me to help.
Oh yes! What we see here is the first Micha screen, the first screen Micha actually has drawn. And you can see with an overly critical eye that there are still some rudimentary textures he ditched on the way or changed something. He revised it several times. The more we got into the world of Deponia, the more we got an eye for details. Yeah, this could be a little bit different, or this can be like blah, blah, blah. In this case, though, the first draft looked quite similar to what we got in the end. There was a bit less texture to it, a bit less cartoony, and some more daring textures on single objects. Yeah, I remember clearly that this was our only screen for a long time, and we'd show it at presentations to get potential investors hooked for our big project, Deponia. Game-wise, not too much happens here, as it's more of a crossroad. Of course, it gets you into the environment, and of course, there's Hanek in the lower left, who contributes to the mythology of the trash scouts. But what I like most are those hints and bits of story concerning Hanek and his wife happening later in the dialogue, especially when you use items with Hanek, like the parrot and all that. Some hilarious stuff will happen, believe me. All in all, I'm very happy we had this scene as our first. It didn't really help us selling the project though, so it took us years until we got Deponia signed. But I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Huh? The emergency station is closed for lunch? Oh, great. Well, what if there's an emergency now? My nuclear power-propelled satellite could crash into Kuvak. Or the grizzlies could break free from my treadmills. I mean, isn't anyone thinking on their feet here?